Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are undertaking a massive, and I mean literally massive journey. We're going to dive straight into some of the most profound teachings derived from the extensive source material of Sanatan Dharma, exploring the vast mysteries of life, death, and, well, everything that comes in between. If you've ever wondered how ancient Indian texts map out the universe, healing, the afterlife, and even the end of time, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to break down these epic mythological and spiritual narratives into clear, tangible concepts. So, let's dive right into this by starting with some genuinely huge questions that these ancient texts aim to answer about our very existence. Like, what happens exactly 24 hours after we die, and is it actually possible that an ancient cursed warrior from thousands of years ago is still secretly walking the earth today? The source material tackles these head-on, presenting a framework of reality that spans from the very moment of creation right up to the end of our current epic. It's totally fascinating, and we're going to unpack exactly how these answers are structured. To wrap our heads around this epic timeline, we've broken this explainer down into 4 distinct cosmic mysteries. We'll hit the origins of Ayurveda, the ultimate cosmic truth, the journey of the soul, and finally, immortality and the end. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the origins of Ayurveda and Lord Dhanvantari. We've got to start with the very origins of life and preservation, right? And the absolute crucial starting point here is the Samudra Manthan. Picture this, it's literally the ultimate cosmic tug of war. According to the source material, gods and demons had to actually collaborate in this massive event to churn the cosmic ocean, extracting treasures from the absolute depths of the universe. They weren't just looking for gold or riches, they were seeking Amrit, the literal nectar of immortality. It is the ultimate origin story for ancient medical science. Notice how this whole thing plays out. Step 1, you've got this immense cosmic friction from churning the ocean. Step 2, boom, from these turbulent waters, Lord Dhanvantari emerges. But step 3 is the real key here. He doesn't arrive empty-handed. He emerges carrying the nectar of immortality and fundamentally, the science of Ayurveda. He's considered the divine physician. The source material emphasizes that Ayurveda isn't just viewed as some standard medical system in these texts. It's a divine gift brought forth from the very center of the cosmos to preserve life. Moving right along to Section 2, the ultimate cosmic truth, looking at the Shiv Puran. So, zooming out from the preservation of human life, we transition to the overarching divine framework of the universe itself. The source material features a massive 3.5-hour deep dive into the Sampurna Shiv Puran. We've distilled this epic narrative into 3 core takeaways for you. First, it establishes Lord Shiva not just as a deity, but as the supreme cosmic reality. Second, it maps out the infinite cycle of creation and destruction, just this constant, incredible loop of existence. And third, through various stories, it emphasizes the absolute triumph of devotion over ego. It's a timeless reminder that surrendering our need for ultimate control brings us so much closer to universal balance. And to actually anchor all that immense cosmic energy in the physical world, we have this crucial number, 12. This represents the 12 sacred Jyotirlingas. You know, the source channel even polled its audience on this, asking where their devotion lies, from the freezing heights of Baba Kedarnath in the Himalayas all the way to Somnath in Gujarat, or Kashi Vishnath in Varanasi. These 12 sites are essentially described as physical pillars of cosmic energy just scattered across the mortal realm, allowing human beings to connect directly with the infinite power outlined in the Shiv Puran. Which brings us to Section 3, the journey of the soul, diving into the Garuda Puran. Now, we have to face the mortal inevitable. We've talked about preserving life and the grand cosmic universe, but what actually happens when that spark of life goes out? The source material relies really heavily on the Garuda Puran to demystify the frightening, unseen truth about the afterlife. Instead of just some blank void, the text outlines a highly specific, rule-bound journey. Think of it as an absolute, non-negotiable cosmic roadmap for the deceased, starting the exact moment the soul leaves the physical body. Let's look at exactly how this timeline breaks down, because the source material highlights this as one of the most compelling mysteries of all. At 0 hours, physical death happens. But then, at the 24-hour mark, the text states something really beautiful, yet kind of haunting. The soul actually returns to visit its earthly home exactly 1 day later. It's a startling concept, right? That we're so drawn to our earthly attachments before truly moving on. Then it takes 13 days of specific rituals to help the soul complete its initial post-death journey and finally sever those earthly ties.
It brilliantly illustrates a transition period, showing that death in this ancient framework is a process, not just an instant switch.
And finally, Section 4, Immortality and the End, focusing on Ashwatthama and Kalki.
While the Garuda Puran dictates some pretty strict rules for mortal souls, this final section looks at a genuinely terrifying exception to that rule. The contrast here is just incredible. The mortal soul follows the rules, experiences death, and moves on to the next life or, to ultimate liberation. But then there's Ashwatthama, a legendary warrior from the Great Mahabharata War. He doesn't get to follow the Garuda Puran at all. He is cursed with immortality, wandering the earth forever, physically deteriorating but completely unable to pass on. It turns our modern obsession with living forever completely on its head, presenting immortality not as a gift, but as the ultimate punishment.
But here's the thing, Ashwatthama isn't just wandering around aimlessly. The source material explicitly connects his eternal wandering to the prophecy of the Kalki avatar. That's the final incarnation of the divine meant to appear at the end of our current age, the Kali Yuga. Ashwatthama is said to be waiting for this exact moment. He serves as a living, breathing bridge between the ancient mythological history of the Mahabharata and the prophesied apocalyptic end of our current era. He's literally the ancient past, waiting to witness the future. Which brings us to a final, pretty startling thought. The source material poses the idea that the end of the Kali Yuga, the final darkest age, has actually already begun. We've journeyed from the churning of the cosmic ocean for the nectar of life, through the vastness of the Shiv Puran, down to the heavy mysteries of the soul, and finally to a cursed immortal just waiting for the world to end. So I'm leaving you with this question. If the countdown to the end of this epoch is already ticking, how will you choose to live your chapter of this grand cosmic story? Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.